Today, we celebrate you, my 5,000 beautiful subscribers. Hi, I'm Beth. This is Summer, and we are Chic Crochet. Today's video is going to be different from any video I've ever done because I have never had a first anniversary before on YouTube. So this is the first time, and also we have never hit the 5,000 subscriber mark, but now we have. And this is one of the little things I did to celebrate. I went and had my nails done, and I had the YouTube button or the play button painted on this nail, and then 5,000 painted on these nails. And when I asked my nail technician to do it, she looked a little confused, so I explained to her, but I hope you're watching Vicky, so now she knows I have a YouTube channel, and Vicky always keeps my nails looking beautiful, and she takes such good care of me, so thank you, Vicky. And I was reminded this week by something I heard my pastor say in church. It was in our sermon, and he said, you are not the main character in your own story. So I'm going to reverse this and say, I am not the main character in my own story. God is. He is the head of my life. So it reminded me of something I should say in this video, because this is honestly how I feel. I am not the main character in my YouTube channel. You are. You are, 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 you are. All 5,000 of you subscribers and all the other viewers who watch and maybe have not subscribed. Each of you who have subscribed are owners in this channel. That is how I view it. I'm here for you. But you have also definitely been there for me, and thank you so much. I am just humbled. I know 5,000 seems like a very small number to a lot of people, but to me, it seems huge, and I am so grateful. I am so thankful, and I am humbled. Thank you for being here. So today, I really wasn't sure what to talk about or how to do this. So I thought it might be fun to just go through a little recap of the last year. And I'm just scrolling through all my past videos, and I'm reminded of things that were happening and milestones and things that I was making and maybe things that were crossing my mind at the time I was making each video. My very first video, I'm chuckling a little bit now that I look at these thumbnails. So the evolution of the videos and the thumbnails is really quite funny, and the evolution of the crochet. I'm sorry. I'm a little cracked up when I look at these older videos. Although they're only a year old, it kind of seems like a lifetime ago, and I'm just cracking up a little bit. But anyway, my very first video was the new crochet journey, and I featured just a few things that I had been making. And at that point, I had been crocheting about a year and a half when I started the channel. And what possessed me to really start the channel, I'm not sure. I just always really enjoy watching YouTube. It's my preferred streaming service. I will watch it over anything else. And the short social media videos like TikTok and Instagram, YouTube Shorts, I will watch those a little bit, but I just don't really get into those. So personally, I'm just always drawn toward YouTube. So anyway, that's kind of why I chose YouTube, but why I chose to put myself out there, I'm not really sure. I've said this before and I've pondered on it, and I believe what was going on was at the beginning, this was just a couple of months after I lost my mother. So I just needed something to focus on, and I had my job, but that had been there through the whole thing, through Mom's illness. It was really hard to reflect on that part because I was always trying to juggle work and be there for Mom at the same time. So that just had a whole negative. It just brought me down if I tried to concentrate on my job, because what I was reminded of, if I did that, I was reminded that all those times I was trying to shuffle work and Mom and my family, that those times I was at that job were times that I was not with her. And you always regret when someone's gone, that I just wish I could have been there for them more. So anyway, I wanted a whole new something to focus on, something that was happier, more lighthearted, and I had turned to crochet. Crochet was there for me when Mom was sick, and I was learning to crochet while I was sitting in the hospital and sitting with her, or if we were home at her house and I was taking care of her, that's something I could do and occupy myself, and it just made me feel really good. And Mom liked watching, and she would talk to me about it. So she was 95. She was a few days shy of her 95th birthday when she passed away, but Mom's mind was very good. She was sharp as a tack. Her health just deteriorated rather quickly there at the end, but up until Mom's early 90s. She was in great shape. So we're thankful for that. We had a lot of really good years with Mother. But she had a creative spirit too. So she enjoyed seeing what I was making. She was usually quilting, or she would be doing some sort of needlepoint at the same time I was crocheting. So we would chit chat back and forth about it. And then after she was no longer with me, I kept crocheting, and I'm thankful I did. I was just enjoying discovering all these new patterns and all of these new things I didn't even know existed, like amigurumi, the toys. I didn't even know that was a thing. So I really enjoyed looking at all the amigurumi and fantasizing about all these patterns I was going to make. And in pretty short order, I was able to start doing that, and I have enjoyed that so much. So in that very first video, I think I showed a unicorn and some bags that I made and the mermaid tail. That was when I was getting started with the mermaid tail. And then next I went on to, I'm looking at that video, that was everything I have in my crochet bag. So this was all the things I've been toting around in that crochet bag for the last year, and those things were a great help to me. And this I'm so shocked at, my third video, which I can't believe this was only the third video, because in my mind, I thought I had some videos under my belt before we did this, but my bestie Amy was visiting, and I didn't know what kind of video to do. I was just really struggling to try to think of content. What do people want to see? Or do they really want to watch me crochet? Do they really want to hear me natter on about nothing? But I got the idea to do a video with Amy while she was here, and she agreed to it. So we did a crochet quiz because Amy didn't know anything about crochet, and I gave her a crochet quiz, and that was the third video, and that was pretty fun. And then again, I started having a lot of issues with our loved ones. So my father-in-law was sick, and he was sick a lot of the time that my mom was sick, and it was a struggle because my husband and I were torn between two hospitals in two different states going opposite directions. That was a rough time when both of them were in the hospital at the same time. Fourth video, that was going on, so I think I talked about that. And then the next one, I had finally finished my unicorn, and I was showing how to put that unicorn together. So things were looking up, things in the family were going a little better, and I really did enjoy that unicorn. And then I went on to finish this life-size mermaid tail, or that, well, I should say an adult-size mermaid tail. And that mermaid video does not have a lot of views. It only has 181 views. So it is way back in the beginning. I did not have many subscribers back then. And if you would like to see that, it's a short video. I think it's less than 10 minutes long. But I had gotten the idea to do this mermaid tail. I made a baby gift for someone, and the baby gift was just a little mermaid tail. I made it so that she could tuck the baby down in it, and mostly it would be like a photo prop. And she did that and sent me photos of the baby, and it was just so adorable. And it took me only, or maybe 2 days to make that mermaid tail. And I thought, oh, that was a breeze. This would be so cool to have one of these on my sofa, and I could cuddle up in it and use it as a blanket. Well, I'm not baby size. I might not be a huge person, but I'm certainly not the size of the baby. So I dove in and I got started, but it took me a solid 8 to 10 weeks or longer to crank out that mermaid tail. But I did finally do it, and it turned out gorgeous. I've had so many people ask me if I would make them a mermaid tail. No, I won't. I'm sorry. I love all of you, but no, I'm not going to make you a mermaid tail. That may be a one and done. It was definitely as involved as making an entire Afghan. But if you haven't seen that mermaid tail, go pop over and take a look at her. I think she's pretty cute. And then right after that, I started thinking about a trip we were taking. So I know I've mentioned this before. Sorry if you've heard this too many times, but it was a really big deal to us. We were going on a cruise to the Italian and French Riviera. We were also going to spend about a week in Rome before we got on the cruise ship, and did the other parts of the trip. In Italy, when you're going to these religious sites, in a lot of the churches and cathedrals, you have to have your arms covered. We were going in September, so it was still quite hot, and a lot of those older buildings and some places, they just don't have air conditioning. So I had bought and packed a lot of things that were sleeveless and sundresses and that sort of thing. So I wanted to make sure I was being modest. So I crocheted a shrug, and I featured that in this particular video. So let's see. I also did a little wheat stitch chicken. There's a free tutorial on that chicken. It's by Brianna K Designs, I believe, and she invented the wheat stitch. And that chicken turned out so cute. I gave it away immediately to someone as a gift, but I need to make another one of those because it's cute like the amigurumi chickens that you see, but it just had a little extra something because it had this extra texture of this wheat stitch in it. It was very cute, very pretty. Now that I'm looking at that, I do need to make another one of those because I want to have one to keep for myself. I also had made some carrots, and I keep those carrots out all year round. They are orange and green, so they do look cute for fall, but I have a lot of bunny decor in my house, so I will move those carrots and put them around with my bunnies, and I do enjoy those carrots. And those were a free tutorial by Krista at The Secret Yarnery. And since then, I have come up with my own carrot pattern, and so I just do my own thing. But those first ones I definitely did use Krista's. I used Krista's pattern for that. And then I made some pumpkin cozies for cups. But I did take that shrug with me, and it came in very handy, and I have also had a lot of people ask me about that shrug. It was a free tutorial online, and you'll have to go back and watch that video to get the link because I can't remember who it was, but I do refer to it in that video. And for that little pumpkin cup cozy, I took that with us on the trip also because this is crazy. When I booked my flight or our flight to Rome, my cousin is a captain for United, and I intentionally texted her, asked her if she was on the schedule for that upcoming month that we were going to be flying, and she said, I'll probably be going to Rome, so just text me your flight when you get booked and I'll see if I can get put on the schedule for that flight. So that's what I did. And sure enough, she ended up being our pilot to Rome. So that was insane. And I took the cup cozy and I bought her a Starbucks. And then when we went to board the plane, I handed it to her. I'm just doing a little crochet and chat, and I'm showing my mermaid tail, and I tell about our trip to Italy. And I feature a picture in that one where my cousin brought my husband and I up to the cockpit. She puts her little hat on me, and I'm sitting in the cockpit, and I got my picture made, and that was so much fun. You talk about a thrill. That was almost as thrilling as the trip itself. It was really fun and cute and such a little treat. Kim, I love you. That was so fun. And then I started talking about a fall bag that I was planning on making, and I did make that bag. And then the next videos, so I did a series of 6 videos. 6 videos. And it was about this fall granny square bag, and I did a complete tutorial. I was making the bag for my daughter, and I thought I might as well do a tutorial for this. So the first episode is the introduction. I'm telling about the bag, and then the next episode is literally just the magic ring and going over how to make the magic ring. The next episode, so the third one in the series, is going over the granny square. So I make the granny square, and this is a non-color changing granny square because I used a variegated yarn. So I'm having to test my memory here, but I think I just did 3 or 4 rounds in the one yarn, and then I do show you how to outline it with, do one color change and do the border. The next episode after that is blocking. So I show you how to block squares if you've never done that. And then the next episode is about assembling the bag. And I did a complete tutorial about how to assemble the bag. I did not do a lining for it. I bought a pre-made craft canvas tote lining. And then I showed how to measure your liner and then fit your bag to the liner and put the liner and use that for your liner and put that down inside the bag that you make. And the very last episode, I make bag charms for the bag. I think I did a couple of oak leaves and an acorn and show you how to do that. So if you're in the mood to make a very simple granny square bag, this one is super simple because it's just square. So there are 9 blocks on each side, and you just join it together flat. There's nothing fancy, no turning things on angles or folding them halfway or complicated join. This would be a very good one if you're a beginner, and if you don't want to make a fall bag, of course you can make it in whatever colors you want for whatever season you like. That is totally up to you. And then the next episode, by then it was Christmas, and I showed all of my little Christmas makes, And then I rested for the holidays. So I put YouTube away for a little bit, and then I went down to the beach condo, which I usually do after Christmas, after the family's gone and I've gotten everything cleaned up. I just scooped down there, so that's where I was. And I had some of my crochet with me. I had a minimal amount of filming equipment. I think I may have taken my tripod. I don't think I took a light, and probably had my microphone, and I really didn't know what to film. So I had the idea of showing crochet channels that I like to watch, and I did that, and I just made a quick list. Honestly, did not even think anybody would see this because I had a handful of subscribers, and my videos were getting tens of views, not hundreds of views, not thousands of views, just a few little views here and there. So I really did not even put the thought and effort into that video that I should have, because I'm not kidding. I'm so sorry. I just didn't think anyone would even see it. And I uploaded it. Oh my gosh, and this is when everything changed. So my sisters had come down to the beach. My nieces were at the beach. I can't remember, they were switching off. But anyway, either my nieces were there with me or my sisters were there with me. And we were walking on the beach that morning, and I had just uploaded the video and didn't think anything else of it because I had company with me and I was spending time with them, and I wasn't looking at my phone or checking to see if anyone was watching. But then when I did check, I had over 1,000 views on that video. And I was just shocked that I had never had that many views on a video. And I was getting subscribers. I was getting dozens and dozens and then hundreds, and then it went over 1,000. And this happened so quickly. I think within a day it had over 10,000 views, and it was doubling almost every day. And so are my subscribers. So long story short, by the end of that week, I think I was over 2,500 subscribers, maybe 3,000. And I was up to about 35,000 views. And now that same video has 67,000 views. And I'm telling you, had I known this many people were going to see this video, I would have put so much more effort into it. In fact, it's probably good I did not know, because I may have ruined it. I may have just overthunk it and it wouldn't have been as authentic as it was. So anyway, I'm grateful for that video. That video is the one that launched me and honestly kept me from quitting, because I thought, no one is watching me. No one cares. But that video was a blessing from the Lord, and that just gave me the energy and the encouragement to keep going. And it allowed me to make so many friends, so many contacts all over the world. And that has been the best part of it. When I got back from the beach, the pressure was on, because I thought, wow, people are actually watching me now. What in the world am I going to talk about? And I had gotten a ton of things for Christmas that were on my Christmas list that were crochet items. So I tested all of those items, and I sat down and I did a video for that. And again, I got a lot of positive feedback and great views on it. And back to the video that went viral, I was wearing a hexie cardi that I had made while I was at the beach. And I had so many people ask me about that cardigan, and could I do a tutorial for it, and what yarn did I use and all that. So then I decided, after I showed all of my items that I got for Christmas, I would do that exact hexie cardi and I would do a tutorial for it. So I went and bought the exact yarn, except I just reversed the color pattern so I wouldn't have two exactly alike. And I did a tutorial for that, and it was very well received. Had a lot of views on it. I had to break it down into two parts because it was just too long to make into one long video. So I did two parts for that. So if you need a tutorial on the hexie cardi, I have that. It's in my library. And then the video after that, I had gotten monetized, which means if you have so many subscribers on YouTube and you have a certain amount of watch hours, then YouTube will pay you, because they start putting ads on your channel and then they pay you for that. It's called AdSense. And when that happened, my mind was blown. It's not a lot of money, but the fact that I could get paid for people to watch my YouTube and hear me talk about crochet, that was mind-blowing for me. But when that happened, I did make a video and celebrate being monetized. That was a super big deal for me. By this time, it was February, and I made a Valentine bag, and I called it the Be Mine Hexie Bag. And I did a tutorial for that. So if you want to know how to make a little hexie bag, you can go back a few videos and watch that tutorial. And then I began my Seaside Stash Busting Blanket, and that pattern is by Coastal Crochet. and not to be confused with Coastal Crochet UK, that's Debbie's channel. And that was the beginning of that blanket. I had a fantastic time making that blanket. After that was when I made a trip to Hobby Lobby, and I walked in there and they had all of these crocheted flowers out for spring, and I was just horrified because I love Hobby Lobby. I like the company. I appreciate their standards, but I was not happy to walk in there and see pre-made crocheted flowers. So I was a little critical of them on that, and there's a little video about that. It's a real short one. And beyond that, then it was Easter, and I love Easter. Easter is my favorite holiday to decorate for, and it may be my favorite holiday. I absolutely love Christmas, and I really like the 4th of July, but there's something about Easter that is just so special. As much as I love celebrating Jesus's birth, I like to give special time to honor the sacrifice he made for us. And Easter is just a beautiful time. And also it being the spring, it's just everything new and green and rebirth. I love Easter. And with Easter comes a lot of bunny rabbits. So I did make a lot of bunny rabbits, and I did a whole bunny rabbit roundup right after that. And I also followed that up with a bunny ear pattern that I designed, and I share that free tutorial. That's on there too. So if you like making toys and dolls or designing your own patterns, you can stick my bunny rabbit ears on your pattern and now you got a bunny. But what I mainly use those for, I did some chair toppers for Easter. So you make a crochet band and you put it on your chair, and it has ears and a tail, and that's just to decorate your dining chairs for Easter. That's in the Easter vlog, a couple of videos prior to the bunny rabbit ears. You can find that. And then finally, after months of looking, I finally got my hands on some Red Heart Retro Stripe. If you have not seen the Retro Stripe, I just love that yarn, and it reminds me of the 80s, and I made a phone bag with it. And so there's a tutorial on the phone bag that I made if you want to watch that. And in fact, I'm getting ready to do a crochet along, and we are going to make something really special with that same yarn, and that's going to be coming up very soon. So stay tuned for that. And now we're getting into those warmer spring months. So this video is about 3 months ago, and I was just updating you on some bags and blankets and tops that I was making. That's just a vlog. And I believe in that video was when I finished the Seaside Stash Busting blanket. So I was finally able to show you that completed blanket there. And then next, I was so ready for the 4th of July. So I posted this well before the 4th of July, but I did a pattern roundup for 4th of July makes. And then after that, I made the sunny top. Did you see the sunny top? That was a top I really enjoyed making. I had had that in my wish list of patterns and things I wanted to make for a long time. So I finally got to make the sunny top, and it turned out fantastic. So there's a whole video where I do the review on that pattern. And all this time in the spring, behind the scenes, you did not know this was going on probably. I may have mentioned it in a few videos. I'm not sure how much I talked about it. I don't remember. But so in the background, I was gutting this room in preparation for getting rid of my office and converting it into a beautiful craft yarn studio. So that's what I did. So if you're new to my channel and you're only seeing this part that's right around me, you might want to go back and watch that, and you're going to see the before and the after and the whole process in between. So there is a video on that. I only have 455 views on that video as of now, and I'm not sure why. I worked really hard on that video. I thought everyone would just really enjoy seeing the metamorphosis and the change from the old studio to the new, but I don't know why. I did not get a lot of views on that video. So if you've not watched it and you want to, please go back and watch that. After that, I was still getting all jazzed up for the 4th of July because we were having our big 250th birthday for America. And I made another pattern roundup. So there's the second pattern roundup for that. Maybe you want to jump on and get started for next 4th of July, or you could do it for Labor Day, Veterans Day, Memorial Day. There's all kinds of reasons we can celebrate America. So that video is on there too. And after that, then I went into doing a vlog. It may have been my first vlog that I did here in the new studio, and that was fun. Vlogging is a little hard for me because I'm very apprehensive about sitting here and talking, although those are the type of videos I like to watch. I like to watch vlogs. But when I think about turning the camera around and watching me talk, I'm not sure who would want to do that. But if you're here for it, I am most grateful. Thank you. But anyway, so there was a vlog there, and then the next one, I did a very deep dive into the yarn holder. And this is the wooden yarn holder that has a magnet and that has a pedestal. And although that video does not have a ton of views, there were a lot of people. I had really good feedback on that video. So the people who wanted to know about the yarn holder, they were really grateful that I did it. So even though it doesn't have so many views, that's one that it's kind of quality over quantity. The people who really needed that information and wanted that information, they came for it, and they were very good about giving me feedback and having dialogue back and forth. So even though it did not have a ton of views, that's one that I'm really, really glad that I made. After that, I did a granny square roundup and all kinds of projects that you could make with granny squares. They're one of my favorite things to make, and it seems like they are the favorite of a lot of crocheters. They are widely embraced, and so many people love granny squares. I really enjoyed making that video. Next, I was vlogging and I was talking about my 4th of July project. So this was before the actual 4th. I have been working on my American flag Afghan, and that is a free tutorial from the Turtle Trunk. So that is what that vlog is regarding. And we are almost up to current day. After that one, I finished the flag, and that was the big reveal. We are halfway through the year, and I have made 2 huge Afghans. And I don't see any more Afghans in my future for this year. I'm going to try to not commit to another Afghan in 2026. I'm not going to make any promises, but I love doing them, but they're just such a commitment. They're very hard on your hands. And it's also difficult for me to make content and come back here and have something to show you if I'm doing an Afghan, because you really want to see an Afghan every video I make for weeks and weeks. So we're going to just try to put the Afghans on the back burner for a little while. And after that, I received a Swift from Amazon Vine. So it was free to me, and it's a Kato, and I did a whole review on that. And if you are not familiar with the functionality of a Swift, as I wasn't, I knew what they were for, but I really didn't know how to use them. So that video, you and I will learn together through that video. Now I know how to use it. But I literally learned on camera in front of you how to use the Swift, and you can go back and watch that video as well. After that, I've been crocheting for a while, so now I've got a couple of years experience under my belt, even a little more, and I find myself using the same crochet tools and products over and over. The ones I have bought or been gifted and discarded, I have been able to separate what I use on the daily and what I don't want to use. So in that video, I put that curated list together and showed you my favorite things. And I also share all the links in that video if any of those items are something you want to try. And then a few months, well, it wasn't months ago, it was back in June, so it's been a month ago. We had a Prime Day where we had several Amazon Prime Days. And there was this granny square book that was a really affordable price, and I grabbed it, and I have been drooling over it and looking at all the pictures and the patterns. So I decided to do a book review for that book, and I did. And I go through the book with you and talk about each pattern and my opinion of it, and I also make a couple of the granny squares and share those with you in that book review. The next video is a summer top roundup. So I went and I scoured for Etsy patterns of tops that I would like to make or that I thought would be really lovely or fun to try. And I did that roundup for you. That was just last week. And the most recent video is my shawl video, if you are watching this in current time. And that brings us up to present and this day that we are celebrating. I did not get my 5,000 subscribers before the 1 year anniversary or by the 1 year anniversary, but I cut it very close. My anniversary was on July 11th, and you helped us hit 5,000 subscribers on the 24th. So that was 13 days, less than 2 weeks. And I'll take that in a heartbeat. I am so happy. I'm so pleased. I feel so blessed. I feel encouraged. And this is not my channel, it's your channel. Please hang around and see where this takes us next. We're going to be doing a crochet along soon. And I've been trying really hard to stay on a set schedule. My concern is as soon as I speak it out into existence, something is going to happen and my schedule is just going to collapse. So I am uploading 2 times a week, I have been doing it on certain days, and I've been consistent for a few weeks now, and that's going well. But I'm not ready to broadcast exactly what those days are and broadcast my filming and uploading schedule, because I'm just very concerned that as soon as I do, it's just going to go haywire and cause it not to happen. So we're just going to keep playing it by ear for now, but consistency is paying off. And I do want to say before I wrap this up, the video that I made that went viral, that gave me the privilege of meeting so many new people and interacting with new people, and several other YouTubers, where now I am able to communicate and have dialogue with them on a regular basis. I have my beautiful friend Nicole over at Be a Flamingo in the UK. I also have Deb, and I love her. She's also in the UK at Coastal Crochet UK. And the precious Chloe from Beogacree in Ireland. Those are a few of the beautiful friends that I get to speak to on a regular basis. And also got to communicate with Krista from The Secret Yarnery in Kenya. She lives in Nairobi. And Cindy at the Roomy Mill in Texas. And there's several more, but those are the main ones. And then a few subscribers. I'm going to mention a few subscribers. Please forgive me if I do not mention your name. I may open a Patreon later where it's easier to keep track of my regular followers, but there are some names that come to mind, people who regularly comment and leave me encouragement, and I appreciate it so much. Betty Jo, thank you. Michaela, Susan, Patty, Lorraine, those are just a few. I know there's many, many of you who have been so sweet to take your time to watch me and leave encouragement. Thank you too. Summer and I thank you for a beautiful year of fun, fellowship, and crochet. We are so thankful for each and every one of you. And we're going to continue this journey together. And until we see you again, bye-bye. Summer's saying bye-bye. Oh, tell them bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye, friends. Let your light shine and always stay chic. Bye-bye. Oh my gosh, Summer, you are just precious. I love you. Woo! Where'd you go? Summer.